Some schools soar like an eagle, whereas many other schools are on a roller coaster. Today they are up, tomorrow they are down. Today they are up, tomorrow they are down. This year they are up, next year they are down. They are constantly moving up and down. To bring every school to the point where they can fly high like the eagle and do that consistently is my goal today. And in the bid to do this, I want to look specifically at how school owners contribute either to their schools flying high or their schools doing the roller coaster job, which I'm very, very sure is not the dream of any school owner. My name is Uchenna Ezugu. I am an educational consultant. As we progress, I would like you to like this channel. I would like you to share the link with your friends, and I will also encourage you to press the subscribe button so that when I release new videos, you will be the first to get it. In what ways can we get school owners to help their schools to soar instead of, through their own actions, let their schools go up and down, which is, of course, not their dream? The first thing that every school owner should look at is whether the school owner is taking responsibility for everything that happens in his school or her school, or he or she is blaming others for it. That is point number one. The school owner is the one who conceived the plan and started the school. He is the one who decided the type of school to start. He's the one who decided the location of the school. He's the one who decided whether it should be for all boys or all girls or coeducational if it is a secondary school. And of course, some primary schools have all these idiosyncrasies these days. But then that decision belongs to the owner. The school owner is the one who decided whether to employ people to run the school for him or her, or to run the school by himself or by herself. The school owner decided all the people that were employed in his or her school and decided whose kids to admit and whose kids, for some reasons, the school would not admit. So, if you are the one as a school owner who made all these decisions all by yourself, then you should also ask yourself, do you have the power to undo these decisions? Yes. As a school owner, you can decide to close down your school. As a school owner, you can decide to sack the leader, the head, be it a man or a woman. As a school leader, you can decide to appoint several people into your school at the same time. You can decide to reduce the number. You can decide who stays and who goes. Of course, doing this legally is so very important so that you don't go and commit a crime or get involved with labor issues unnecessarily. But the point I'm trying to make here is that because it is on you to make these decisions and because you can change them at will, you should hold yourself responsible for whether your school is growing or not. Your school is your investment. For many school owners, the school is their financial life. And so, if you pay enough attention, you should know when to take action and when not to take action and what action to take. So if you fail to take those actions, you must completely blame yourself. So if a school is moving forward, the owner should take the credit, first of all, before any other person. And if the school is going backwards or not making progress, the owner should also take responsibility and say to himself or to herself, I am responsible. If anybody has failed, I am the one who has failed. This is very, very important. If as a school owner you continue apportioning blames, or if not for this head teacher, or if not for this principal, or if not for these management members, my school would have been here, my school would have been there, it doesn't make sense because you own the school. So you should be the first person to be blamed if things are not going well. And if things are going well, you should also be the first person to be praised. Number two is showing superiority through meekness. What you see in many school owners is pride. As far as they are concerned, it is them and the workers. And so, very many school owners behave like kings and see their workers as slaves. To them, that way they will be respected. That way they will be feared. But that is sheer arrogance. Your school cannot grow in that manner. Your school cannot grow because your attitude will kill initiative, your attitude will kill creativity, and people will do eye service. When you are around, everybody is falling over themselves to please you. But when you are not around, they go back to their normal selves. And that means that there is no consistency in your school. And the implication directly is that very many parents will not keep their children in such a school because it will show in the work that the teachers do and in the work that every other employee of the school does. So it is very, very important that as a school owner, you should be humble, you should be meek, you should listen to people. Don't lord things over people. See them first of all as human beings and not statistics. And that way, your school will definitely grow. Number 3 is that a school owner that wants the school to be on an upward trajectory must run an open system. An open system is a system where teachers are free to talk, school managers are free to talk, students are free to talk, parents are free to talk. Everybody is free to visit anybody, to enter any office, and to say whatever they reasonably think they should say. You are running a closed system when people cannot talk before managers and before the school owner. What you find is that that school will turn to a rumor mill. People will say a lot of things in secret. And at the end of the day, I guarantee that most of what will be said will be negative things. It will be complaints and so on and so forth. But if you run an open system, whoever is dissatisfied with the system should be able to walk up to anybody who has done something that the person thinks is not correct and ask questions. So it is very, very important that parents are allowed to visit your school at any time and that they are given the freedom to go to anywhere they want to go without disrupting activities, either activities in the classrooms or activities in the offices, but they should feel that they are welcomed at any time and not that they are not welcomed. So it is very, very important that a school owner who wants the school to run and run very, very well should run an open system. Number 4 is that the school owner should be willing to seek knowledge actively. Nobody knows it all, and things are changing every day. So every school owner that wants the school to grow and keep growing must seek knowledge. You have to read books on management. You have to read books on leadership. If you don't want to read books, there are several audio books that you can get through YouTube or through the internet. There are several audio books, there are several talks. TED Talk is a very good example where you can go to get information. You need information on modern ways of managing. You need information on modern ways of running schools. What I am doing here is part of it. If you don't have the internet, if you don't seek knowledge, you will not be able to get what I'm giving you now. So it is very, very important that any school owner that wants the school to grow should seek knowledge and seek knowledge actively. Number 5 is that a school owner who wants the school should grow should encourage initiative and creativity among the staff, should reward initiative and creativity among the staff. It does not really make a lot of sense to me that a school owner who possibly is a graduate has a good number of graduates in his or her employment, and that school owner goes ahead to think that he or she is the only one who knows what is good for the school, or who knows how to solve the school's problems, or who knows the new things that the school can do to increase itself. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think it is correct. And so schools should design policies that encourage creativity and innovation. It is very, very important. In some schools, they reward it materially. They reward it materially. And what you get is that that school will never lack in ideas. The school will never lack in better ways of doing old things. And at the end of the day, the school will always fly. The sixth thing that any school owner that wants the school to do well must try to do and do well is to seek feedback. This is very, very important. You have to seek feedback. Why do you have to seek feedback? Every school thrives on the perception of parents, of the students, and of their community. Every thriving school is thriving because parents perceive them to be good, students perceive them to be good, the community perceives them to be good. Now, if you do not get feedback, you may think that you are the best thing in town or the next best thing in town, whereas everyone that has come across you sees you as awful. And the parents of your students don't talk good about you. Maybe not in general terms, but in specific terms. So how do you know how people perceive you? Through the feedback that you get from your customers, whether they are parents or students or the community. And so every school must concretely seek feedback. One of the ways to get objective feedback is to have a complaint box. Just put a box out there. You have a complaint, you have worries, don't write your name, you can type whatever it is, put it in the box. The other one is to create an email, feedback@gmail.com. But if your school has a website, then it can be feedback@yourschool.com. In which case, people can send things. Or just create a WhatsApp group for parents of your school for feedback. This one is a bit risky. The one of WhatsApp is a bit risky because you might start getting class action. And so a parent says this, others will just pick it up. Even those who don't have any complaints about that will begin to think and begin to imagine that, okay, no wonder my child did like this or behaved like that or said something like this in the past. And so you begin to be bombarded by negativities. So before you do WhatsApp, make sure that you're on top of your game. If not, do a secret something where people can go and drop. But what you cannot do is not to have a concrete way of receiving feedback. If you are so open that people can come to you and give you the feedback directly or write you and put their names, then you're on top of your game. And that is very, very important. But if you're not at that level, you can find secret ways where people can drop things, knowing full well that there will be no negative repercussions on them if they are your customers, on staff if they are your staff, on your public if you want to engage your community on that. The seventh thing that schools that make a lot of progress do is that they run on budgets. What you find for most schools is that the school is the ATM of the owner and members of the owner's family. And so my daughter needs money, my daughter goes to the accountant if there is any accountant, and the accountant gives because the accountant is under instruction to give. Anybody needs anything, Madam or Oga needs money because he's the owner, just money will be flying around. And then you don't run on budgets. There is no budget that says in this session, these are our needs. These are what our expenses are going to be. And this is our income. Budget is very, very simple. Income versus expenses. What it does for you is that at the end of the term or at the end of the session, you are able to review and say, did our income surpass our expenses? If it did, the balance is your profit. If you are a for-profit organization, if you are a non-profit, the balance is your surplus. But if it didn't and it balanced out, then you know that next time you have to budget differently, because the goal of every owner of a school is to either make a profit or make a surplus, as the case may be. So this will help you also in spending, especially what you may call reckless spending, which many school owners do without knowing. As a matter of fact, any school that does not run on budget cannot even say how much profit they make, either at the end of the term or at the end of the session. So it is very, very important that as a school owner, you separate your financial life from your school. How do you do this? Pay yourself salary and live according to your income. Simple. So if you do a budget and you pay yourself salary, you cannot go and start spending school's money. Instead, the school may have money in the account, but if you cannot live within your means, you go and borrow from outside. Probably at the end of the term or at the end of the session, depending on your own accounting period, you are able to say, okay, I made a profit, you pay your debt, or you pay your debt by other means. But not to run with a budget is a very big mistake. Number 8 is to follow global best practices. Today in many schools, you still see teachers using the lecture method of teaching. In majority of the schools in this country, you see many teachers using lecture method of teaching in schools. And the owners of these schools don't know the difference. They don't know any better. And so they just continue using it. And no wonder that parents will come, parents who are informed will come, visit your classroom if it is allowed, and just take note of that, and that is already a put off. And so what are you supposed to be? What is it? Ask yourself, what is it the world is doing in pedagogical practices at the moment? What does pedagogy mean for the world? Is it to teach the 21st century practices? Is it to use student-centered method? Do you know the difference between assessment for learning and assessment of learning? So all these are initiatives that are really, really helping schools. And it is not just that you are following what others are doing. No. It is that your students are learning better. They are more creative. They become thinkers instead of those who just memorize things and pour it out. And at the end of the day, they serve the community better. They serve themselves better. And they serve the society better. Such that by the time they leave secondary school, they are already independent and already knows how to progress and survive in life. So it is very, very important that school owners try to seek out global best practices and to follow them without looking back. Number 9 is to revisit your plan. Revisit your plan and check how what you are doing or what your workers are doing, how they align with your plan, with your mission, with your vision, with your unique selling points. Many school owners don't check how what goes on in their schools align with their vision and mission. And what it does is that they lose identity and become one more school in the environment. And when you just generate to the point where you are just another school in the environment, you are going to lose all discerning parents, and new ones that are good will not come. And the unfortunate thing is that you will just keep the dregs of the society who will be owing you fees, but those who can pay will not come because you are not mindful of how things run in your school. And this is so very, very important. So it is not good enough to say this is our vision, this is our mission, these are our USPs if you have any. But it is good to say we are doing it, and then to conduct a survey that will prove to you really that you are doing it. Number 10, which I have partly mentioned, is to have an SOP that is written down. SOP means standard operating procedures for everything. If you are a school that is mindful of your mission and vision and mindful of your unique selling points, then you should have a standard operating procedure. What it does is that everybody's mind is focused on doing things the way they should be done. If you have a new employee, you hand the new employee your standard procedure, operating procedure. The person reads it. If the person has comments, he passes the comments. The person has suggestions, he passes the suggestions. But to follow that standard is basic. So it is very, very important. This does not mean that you should not innovate, and that is why you have to be revisiting your plans, revisiting your plans, so that in that way you are able to change what you need to change, you're able to introduce what you need to introduce, and you're able to move forward. Number 11 is that you must be consistent. As I have said in the beginning, you must be consistent. You can't be cold today and hot tomorrow, cold today and lukewarm tomorrow. No, you should either be hot or lukewarm or cold, so that people are able to identify you with something. You're able to have an identity. If you are consistent, you become a brand. And when you become a brand, your challenges will now be sustainability and not growth. Growth will be taken for granted. It will be sustainability. And that is the point where every school owner wants to be. And finally, you must be original. You must be original. Don't be a fake. Don't be a fake does not mean that you cannot copy things from other schools. You cannot copy things from the internet. You can copy, but don't copy for copying's sake. Whatever you copy, make it your own. Whatever you copy, make it your own. But even more importantly, try to be yourself and try to be original. If you are focused on copying all the time, you will not have identity, you will never be a brand. And this is very, very important, because you need it, not just to continue flying higher and higher, but also to sustain it. That sustenance is very, very important. And that is what prevents the roller coaster effect, a situation where you are neither here nor there. When they plot your graph, it is a zigzag graph. That is not good enough. So school owners, do something, do something, do something. If there is nothing you want to change, change the fact that you are not a Mr. or Mrs. Know It All, and that your staff are not just statistical data. They are human beings who have initiative, who have minds. And when you treat them like human beings, they will give you themselves. There's no doubt about that. Once again, like this channel, share our link with your friends and family, especially those who are school managers and school owners, or aspiring school owners and school managers. And then subscribe, so that when next we come on board, you'll be the first to get our video. Thank you.